a heartfelt namaste. I, Anuradha, would like to thank all of you for writing in your comments and your suggestions on our YouTube and our Spotify channel, and liking, sharing, and subscribing to them. If you haven't subscribed to our Spotify channel, please do, so that you can listen to all the videos in one go, anytime, any place. Today, we are going to talk about the Dagdha Rashis. They are our personal challenge. What are the Dagdha Rashis? Before we move on to the Dagdha Rashis, let's talk about the Panchang. The Panchang, as we all know, is composed of the 5 elements of Tithi, Var, Karna, Nakshatra, and Yog. We've been putting on a lot of videos on Nakshatra, and on and off we do talk about Nakshatras a lot. So Nakshatras are important, but the other 4 also hold a great place of importance. When we talk about the Tithis, we know that they talk about our wealth quotient and our relationships. Relationships are the ones that help us, that propel us forward to do a lot of things in life. When we talk about relationship, we cannot let go of the importance of Venus. Venus represents our family, it represents our partners, it represents our wealth. It talks about those professional relationships and the platform that we have in life. Because Venus, as we know, is the 2nd and the 7th lord of the Kalpurush Kundali. So it becomes very important to talk about Venus when we are talking about the emotions, as it is Venus rules over the water elements, which shows our emotions. Coming to emotions and coming to talking about relationships, we often see that it is in relationships that we get hurt, we learn lessons, and we move ahead in life. Those lessons can bring about a change, a drastic change in life, or those are those relationships that can bring about a very beautiful phase of life. They're connected to our prarabdha. So Venus also talks about the prarabdha that we have to face with others. Now, people born on a particular tithi will find a prarabdha from a particular rashi. Yes, from particular rashis, if I can say so. Of the 15 tithis that people can be born under, starting from Pratipada to Chaturdashi and Amavasya and Purnima. When we talk about Amavasya and Purnima, we'll take them up later. But the 14 tithis, of the 14 tithis, 13 of them have been assigned to Rashis. When I say Rashis, I mean zodiac signs, where we find we have to work our prarabdha, where we have to learn those lessons emotionally and become more strong and go ahead. When we are talking about Chaturdashi, it's not 2, but the 4 Rashis that we can understand later, where person needs to learn from. When we talk about the Amavasya, in Amavasya, we will find that the person does not have any Dagdha Rashi. Nevertheless, to my opinion, or to my observation that I have found during my readings and during my research, is that people who are born on Amavasya, for them, the sign of Cancer becomes extremely sensitive, and whichever house it falls in your chart for you, because even during the Amavasya, you could be born under any of the lagnas. So whichever sign that it falls into, that can cause a lot of emotional upheaval in your life. Now, the Tithi consists of a 12-degree distance that is traversed by moon, and that we have discussed in a number of videos, and we can have a look many a times. So now, when in a particular Tithi, the moon is moving up, crosses approximately, takes 24 hours to cover a Tithi. And the Lagna, as we know, changes every 2 hours. So nearly all the Lagnas are covered in the 24 hours that the moon takes to cover one Tithi. Hence, for a given Tithi, with people having different Lagnas, the houses where these Dagdha Rashis fall, that can change. Consequently, our fight or our journey or our prarabdha with different kind of people in life can be different, even if we are born just 2 hours apart. So for a Aries Lagna person who is born on Pratipada, or let's take it for an Aries Lagna person, yes, born on Pratipada, Libra and Capricorn become the 7th and the 10th house, and they are the areas of conflict. They are the areas of emotional growth, emotional learning for a person. The Prarabdha houses as far as emotions, relationships are concerned. For the same Pratipada, Dagda Rashi is remaining same. If the Lagna changes to Gemini, then the 7th house and the 5th house and the 8th house become the houses where a person needs to, complete his prarabdha emotionally, or a person needs to take care of these areas of life emotionally. So as I've already told you that you would need, on a person born on the 14th of Atithi, he would have to see that all the 4 Rashis, that is the Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo, they need to be the areas where one needs to pay special attention to. Now, if the Dagda Rashis fall under 1, 4, 7, 10, or 5 and 9, 2 or 2, then in that case, these are the areas one really would have to face a lot of flake from, would need to confront or walk that tedious path, walk that danger, not that dangerous, but walk that difficult path to overcome the prarabdha. But if the Dagda Rashi for you falls in the 3, 6, 8, or the 12th house, the Dagdha, or the problem, the intense pain that one might feel will come down a lot, would come down. Subsequently, what happens is that you would not be, though you are traveling on a path which is hard, which is difficult, but the difficulty would be less as compared to the others when they're treading down the same path. Also, if there is a malefic planet situated in these Dagda Rashis for you, not the same in the sense that even if it's a 1, 4, 7, 10, or a 5, 9, or a 2, is a malefic planet situated there. In that case, again, the power of the Dagda Rashi to give you problem comes down drastically. The same holds true for a retrograde planet. So we've seen that in the Dagda Rashis, if they're retrograde planets, if there are malefics, or if it falls in 3, 6, 8, or 12 for us, Dagda Rashis lose their power of hurting a person too much. Another point that I have observed is that people who are born in the Krishna Paksh, the Dagda Rashi works or gives them more pain rather than those born on the Shukla Paksh. The rationale behind it could be that the moon is Pakshbali, that is, it is strong, it's a waxing moon, as such will be strong, will have strength to endure those emotional upheavals, and consequently a person may not feel that much of pain as a person born in the Krishna Paksh would. Having said all that, let us take up a few examples. So when we take up the example of Kajol, a well-known actress in the film industry, Indian film industry, and one who has won number of awards compared to other actresses of her times, we see that she was born on Krishna Tritiya. Now, as I told you, that people born on Krishna Paksh are more emotionally more susceptible in Krishna Paksha. And for Tritiya people, their Dagda Rashi becomes Leo and Capricorn. In such a case, we see that for Kajol, Leo becomes the 7th house and Capricorn becomes the 12th house. As per Ayarji's saying, the 12th house is a house that if the Dagda Rashi falls there, we are happy, because we know that the Dagda Rashi will not be able to give us that amount of pain. So yes. Then we come to the sign of Leo. Leo for her would be the 7th house, as a Lagna is in Aquarius. So that should be a problematic zone for her, because that is the area, that's the house of our partners, personal or professional, and that is also a place where we gain a lot of public repute, knowledge. It gives us a public platform to showcase our talents. But that has not been the case with Kajol. Well, the reason is very clear. There is a Mars sitting in that Dagda Rashi. If it was just a chart shown to us, what would we say? Mars in the 7th house, it will cause problems in partnerships, will cause problems in marriage, could be an acrimonious marriage. So did this Mars cause problems for her? There has been, not denying the fact that there has been rumors about her marriage. Nevertheless, this Mars was in the Dagda Rashi, and this Mars could have been her saving grace for her marriage. And she's well known for her being very punctual, very professional as an actress. So this Mars could have been a one to give her a lot of work, to give her that public platform, because the Dagda Rashi, a negative and a negative, they are nullifying themselves. So when we talk about malefics sitting there, the malefics have to be in the natural malefics: Saturn, Mars, Rahu and Ketu, or the cruel planet Sun. Taking another example of a person born on Tritiya, again, that this time Shukla Tritiya, so probably he gets off on a better footing. It is Vishwanathan Anand, again a well-known person in the world of chess, and in India, a very well-known, because he was the first grandmaster, Indian chess grandmaster. We see his Dagda Rashis. As we ascertained the last time, the Dagda Rashis are Capricorn and Leo. For Vishwanathan Anand, with the Lagna falling in Capricorn itself, his 8th house, the sign of Leo, becomes the Dagda Rashi. So we see that the 8th house comes into play in Dagda Rashi, and with the malefic all the more present there, it nullifies the effect of the Dagda Rashi. But what about the Lagna? The Lagna is aspected by the Lagna Lord, that is Saturn, and that too retrograde, though it may be debilitated, but that's a Cheshta Bali Saturn, that is, it has a lot of strength, directional strength. Sorry, Cheshta Bali. So this Saturn gives him certain amount of protection, but the Dagda Rashi effect could be seen because the pressures that one has. Lagna also talks about you. It also talks about your mental health and everything. So the pressures that he individually had to become a chess grandmaster, Indian chess grandmaster, to hold that position, the kind of hard work that he had to do, the mental agony or the mental upheaval that he had to go through, was all been formed by him, must have all been gone through by him. But when the Lagna Lord aspects its own house, it kind of protects him. So he was protected by the Saturn, but he nevertheless did have to go to the rigmarole. If we also take the case of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, in his case also a freedom fighter, an Indian, a person who also inspired many people with his courageous behavior in the Indian army to join the Indian National Army. What his Dagda Rashis fall in the 3rd and the 6th house. No matter how intimidating his or how overwhelming the situation was, he always came up as a better person, and he always made sure that his enemies, his opponents did not or could not oppress him. So we see that Dagda Rashis in the 3rd and the 6th house. Any competition that he had, he was able to walk through it very well. So we see that the Dagda Rashis, though, can be a little intimidating, but with the anomalies or with the exceptions, they work perfectly well. One classic case that I always give is the case of Marilyn Monroe. This is a case that defines how important are Dagda Rashis and how strongly they work in our lives. For Marilyn Monroe, she was born on Shashti. So the two Rashis that act as a Dagda Rashi are the signs of Capricorn and the sign of Aries. Capricorn falls in her 7th house and Aries falls in her 10th house because she's a Cancer. Now, instead of malefics, the benefics, that is the moon itself and Venus, both again the karakas for emotions, both which are liquid, shows both planets which show the liquid or the Jala Tattva, and they talk explicitly about a person's emotion. We all know that Marilyn Monroe suffered a lot on account of partnerships in life. Her marriages were very unsuccessful, left much to be desired for her, and she suffered a lot on those accounts. When we talk about her work, if we read Wikipedia, people who Marilyn Monroe may have been a very well-known name in the industry, might have been a very well-known figure with the public, but the remunerations that were paid to other actresses of her time, they were very different for what Marlene was paid. She was paid very low as compared to others. She suffered with the studio bosses a lot too. So we can see that her work was greatly suffered, and we can see that her partnerships on account of falling in Dagda Rashis, not to mention it's the Krishna Paksh that she has had to be born in, and she suffered on all those accounts. Moon also relates to mother, and she also suffered a lot on account of her mother. So we see how much the Dagda Rashis can tell us about our arduous journey or otherwise in life, and who are the people who are capable of giving us pain, who are the people who are capable of making us realize and learn certain lessons. Next time, when we look into a chart, we should not forget to understand or see the importance of the Rashis. Till we meet with you again, stay safe.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.